Hey guys, it's Josh, Darker14 here, and today we've actually got a deck profile for you for Evilswarms, or I would say Evilswarms, but the only Steel Swarm you're playing is this card. But, you know, with this card out now, this card is absolutely amazing. So, I decided to come up, because Evilswarms are one of my favorite decks of all time, and show you my build and see how I have it done. So, we're going to start off with the best card NA, the normal monster, Heliotrope, 1950 body. That is, Jesus Christ, he's big. You have no idea how handy that comes into play. So, then from there we have Caster. He's one of the best cards in the deck. All he does is he gives you another normal summon for another Evilswarm monster. So from here, we have another really good card, Kirkion. He's the only one without a 50 attached to the attack. Now, it always annoys me, but hey, what can you do? His attack is worded a little weird, but essentially, if you've got two Evilswarm monsters in your graveyard, you can banish one, right? Add the other one to your hand, and normal summon it. So, you don't have to normal summon the one that you add as well. You just gain an extra normal summon afterward. And so you'll notice a lot that almost every card in this deck gains you an extra normal summon monster-wise. So people can't like strike those specifically or stuff like that. And then even when you'll see Steel Swarm Origin, the cards that it points to, if they actually have a monster in that zone that it points to, when you summon it, then they can't even strike that too. So really cool interaction there. Then we have our special summon of the deck, Mandragora. It's essentially a Cyber Dragon. It's a little bit weird. As long as your opponent controls more monsters than you, you can actually summon this from your hand. So it's a little bit better than Cyber Dragon in that sense, and it's still that level 4 Evilswarm monster that we always know and love. So I actually only play one of Thunderbird. He's good, but he doesn't give me the extra summon like the others do, or it doesn't summon itself and everything. He's a good target to summon from deck with Origin's effect, but other than that, he's sort of which is why I only play one. If anything, I want to see one of the other Evilswarms rather than this. And then the reason we play Heliotrope, the Rabbit. I would play 3 if I wasn't afraid of seeing a second Rescue Rabbit. I do want to open it, yes, but if I open 2 of them, the other one is dead, and now I have a useless card, and that is very, very costly with this deck. You have to utilize every resource in order to be able to, you know, out-resource your opponent. So that's it with the monsters. Moving on to the spells. We have Infestation Pandemic. One of the main reasons why this deck is real, honestly, I'm highly debating playing a third. All face-up Evilswarm monsters you currently control, and note that does say currently controlled, and that's very, very important, are all unaffected by all spells and traps, other than this card. So, that does mean that they are unaffected by yours as well. So if you're playing like D-Fissure and stuff like that, D-Fissure will make it to where it normally banishes it, but this actually makes it to where they don't get banished. You know, your opponent's stuff. This is just the best card in the deck, and you'll see it really, really combos well with a card that came back to 3 and we're really, really happy about, especially in this deck. So, from there, our draw power, we got our Allure of Darkness, and that is really the only draw power you need in the deck, guys. I mean, like, you can play Pot of Desires. I personally don't like the card, but hey, that's just because I've had a lot of really bad experiences with it. And there we go to our one-ofs, Raigeki, Monster Reborn, Rhoda, and D-Fissure. So first of all, D-Fissure, you don't really care about most of your stuff going to the graveyard. The only thing that really cares about that is Kirkion. And even so, if you're under Ophion or something as an Exceed material and you detach, it doesn't read it as a monster, so it actually goes to grave. So if you're going Ophion and then you go for the Kirkion later for the origin and everything, you can actually just play under this and you're fine. Also, this here searches Evilswarm Caster. And this is your only target in the deck, but again, this is one of the best ones in the deck. So, Rhoda is still really, really good, and if it was at 2, I'd play it at 2. If it was at 3, I'd probably still play it at 2, to be honest. So, first of all, we play 3 Torrential Tribute. This card combos so well with this deck. I can't say enough how awesome this combo is and how it combos with Origin as well. So you activate Torrential Tribute, Origin, can protect itself, it won't die, and it can summon monsters from the deck up to the amount that are destroyed. So your opponent has 5 monsters on board, and say one of them is in the area where he's pointing to, and you just don't care. On that 5th monster, you just blow up everything, and then just summon 5 Evilswarm monsters from your deck swarming. It's amazing. So good. So from there, we played the whole Solemn Brigade. We got Judgment back, baby. This is amazing. You play this a lot like almost like a counter fairy deck would, in a sense, with these cards. But these are really your only counter traps in the deck. It's very, very costly. Very, very worth it. I actually played 2 Floodgate Trap Hole. This will really, really stop combo heavy decks. I may opt for hand traps rather than these. If there was a trap in the deck that would be the first to go, it would probably be these. However, the issue is this card has won me games in and of by itself. So I'm really, really on the fence with this. So there we go. We've also got Quaking as another face down 2-of. This card is absolutely amazing, and I don't see why people are playing this right now. I think the only thing is, if you're hitting against Link monsters, then, I guess they can't go face down. But other than that, and that's kind of a side-out situation. You have other cards for that, so it's really not that big of an issue. For our one-ofs, we play Eradicator Epidemic Virus and Deck Devi Virus. Ophion is a target for both of these, and I think Origin can only be used for this. These things are really, really good pushing for, at mid-game, just going straight into late-game, 4-game. From there, we play also 1 Macrocosmos. Again, you don't care about your stuff being banished, and this wins games by itself. Especially if you're going against something like Pendulum Magicians. They just scoop if you just play this turn 1 against them. Also, we play Infestation Infection. This card allows you to shuffle a Evilswarm monster from your hand or your field into your deck and get a different Evilswarm monster, right? However, it only specifies the main deck, so you cannot shuffle Origin or Ophion or stuff like that back into the extra deck and do it, which is kind of a downside, but let me tell you, being able to put that Heliotrope back into my deck to make Rescue Rabbit live, and being able to get that Kirkion so that I can make an Origin or make an Ophion is just game-breakingly good. But because this is searchable by Ophion, I really only played it 1. So moving on to the extra deck, we have 2 Big Bad Boy Steel Swarm Origin. I'm honestly debating on getting a 3rd for this. Just because I have the extra deck space, really, and if you have 2 of these, then your opponent cannot summon from the extra deck at all. It's amazing. So, there's that, and then there's the fact that they have to summon into that zone, and while a monster is in one of its zones, so yours and theirs. He can't be destroyed by battle, can't be destroyed by card effects, can't be targeted. Dude's virtually indestructible because, I mean, like, let's think non-targeting destruction. No, not even destruction. Non-targeting answers for this card include what? You can't even, I think, storming.
Trish.
Yeah, Trish. You can Trish it, but you'll see. Yes, you can kaiju it under certain circumstances, but a lot of people are not playing kaijus as much anymore. So there's that, and then you don't really see too many people playing Trish as much as they used to. I love the card personally, but without some of those cards, those are really our only outs. Like Ultimate Conductor, Tyranno can't stop this. Like Pen Magicians can't stop this. Musketeers can't stop this. I mean, True Dracos can't stop this. It's crazy. Also, it has the effect, and as I said before, that with mass removal and stuff, like Torrential Tribute, or Raigeki or something like that, just destroying a bunch of monsters, it counts on both players' sides of the field. So, if you end up wanting to play something like Dark Hole, it's perfectly fine because he will survive and he will spam your board. And you can just make a second one of these, or you can make a Proxy Dragon and one of these, and then an Ophion. It's crazy. For the other Link monsters, I play one Decode Talker, and Proxy Dragon, 2 Link Spiders, which you can make with the Heliotropes. And for our other Exceeds, we play 2 Ophion, big bad boy of the deck. If you guys know what it does, you know what it does. If not, then while he has an Exceed material, neither player can special summon level 5 or higher monsters. Your deck doesn't care about this, but a lot of other decks do. Stops Astrograph, stops Chronograph, stops Vortex Dragon if they're playing the Odd Eyes builds. A lot of rogue decks that have the high level monsters too. Stops people from summoning JD if they're playing Light Swarms, etc., etc. Also, you can detach one to search an Infestation Spell or Trap, which is why I was saying I only play Infestation Infection at 1, and why I was only playing Pandemic at 2, but I want to bump it up to 3 because it's just so good. The versatility is everywhere. So I play, because your monsters are all dark, I play the Master Key Beetle. Originally I was playing Safe Zone, and I would Safe Zone the Master Key Beetle and then Master Key Beetle the Safe Zone. But honestly, this is probably the first thing to go if I want to cut anything. I do play the Ouroboros. If you got 3 materials and, you're about to go for game, you need that spot removal, definitely go for it. If your opponent only has 1 card in hand left and you've really gotten rid of pretty much everything else, go for it. Other than that, he's pretty costly. Evilswarm Nightmare. Early Prevention. Another thing to flip things face down if they're special summoned. Bahamut. Steal your opponent's monster. You discard an Evilswarm monster to do it, and that's a good way of getting around your opponent's unbreakable boards, all that. Evilswarm Thanatos. So you detach 1, he becomes unaffected by other monster effects for the turn. He's cool, but I've never really needed to summon him ever. In addition to that, this thing, my mentality playing this was Infestation Pandemic, because you could detach 1 from him, he's unaffected by monster effects, you activate this, he's unaffected by spell and trap effects. It's just a nail in the coffin sort of idea, but I never really needed to. Abyss Dweller because graveyard decks are real. And believe it or not, the spicy tech, this actually won me a game today. This guy went into time with me, and I actually put this underneath my Evilswarm Origin. And because he saves himself by detaching one, I was able to keep him on board, protecting him. Which is the only reason I won that game. Alrighty. And that should be about it. Thank you guys again, and I hope you have a great day. Remember to like and subscribe, and shout outs to my buddy Jake for helping me cameraman this while I'm doing this. Alrighty, have a great day, guys.
DJ's